In the heart of a sacred Yajña, priests chanted ancient mantras. Offerings crackled in the fire. The air was thick with sanctity, still divine. But suddenly, a sharp cry pierced through that peace. A dog had been beaten. His voice trembled with pain.
I didn't eat the ghee. I didn't even lick it. I didn't even look at it.
No one listened. No one cared. He limped away, wounded, punished for something he did not do.
I did not commit any wrong.
But he was not alone. Far above, in the celestial realm, his mother, Sarama, heard his cry.
I did not commit any wrong.
Sarama, the divine hound of the gods, descended with a glow that cut through the earth and sky. Her eyes blazed with fury. Her presence silenced the wind itself. Before the sages, before the king, she spoke.
My son did no wrong, and yet you beat him. You, a king. You let injustice rule your hands. For this, evil shall strike you when you least expect it.
With that, she vanished. The fire still burned, the Yajña still continued, but the warmth was gone. Janamejaya sat in silence, his heart heavy with shame. The Yajña had ended. The priests were gone, the fire now a flickering echo of what once blazed. But King Janamejaya remained seated, motionless. Sarama's words still rang in his ears.
Evil shall strike you when you least expect it.
Your injustice will return to you. He had heard many things in his life. The roar of conch shells, the chants of learned brahmanas, the applause of kings. But this curse from a celestial being, it lingered like smoke trapped in his chest. In his heart, something had shifted. That night, back in the great palace of Hastinapur, the halls echoed with silence. No music, no celebration. Only a heavy, invisible weight that followed Janamejaya wherever he walked. He paced the stone corridors. The fire in his chamber flickered, but it did not warm him. The silks and sandalwood around him, once comforts of royalty, felt cold, distant. A king, cursed by the divine, for hurting a creature who had done no harm. He sat alone. He thought of his ancestors, of Bharata, of Arjuna, of Yudhishthir, great men, dharmic men. What would they have done? And slowly he understood. This guilt could not be ignored. It could not be washed away by silence. There had to be a cleansing. A fire greater than the one he had sat before. A Yajña, not for glory, not for fame, but for redemption. And so Janamejaya summoned his ministers. I must seek a priest, he said, not for power, but for peace. And with that vow, he set his heart on a new path, one that would lead him into the forest and toward the strange divine threads of destiny. Deep in the forest, where the sunlight danced through ancient trees and the sound of mantras echoed like wind through the leaves, Janamejaya rode alone. He had left the palace behind, not for conquest, not for politics, but for peace. The path he followed was quiet. Wildflowers grew beside it. The scent of smoke and sandal drifted through the air, signs of a sage's dwelling not far away. And then he saw it. a small ashrama nestled in nature. No stone, no guards, no gold, only a thatched hut, a sacred fire, and a man whose silence felt louder than any court Janamejaya had ever known. This was Shrutashava, a sage of deep wisdom descended from the Soma lineage. His presence was calm, still as the forest around him. Janamejaya dismounted. He approached barefoot, folded his hands, and bowed low. "O Bhagwan," he said, "I seek a priest, a guide, one who can help me cleanse my soul." The sage opened his eyes slowly and replied, "Not I, but my son. He is the one." Janamejaya looked up. The sage continued, "He is no ordinary child. He was born of strange fate, of seed swallowed by a serpent. His wisdom is ancient, but he lives by a vow. If anyone asks something of him, anything, he must give it, no matter what." There was a pause. The birds stopped. Even the wind seemed to wait. Janamejaya nodded. "I accept that condition." And so, the sage gave his son to the king. Janamejaya returned to Hastinapura with reverence in his heart. And when he arrived, he gathered his brothers and said, "This boy, this young sage is now our priest. His word is final. You will obey him as you would obey me." And thus began the next chapter in the king's journey toward redemption.